It is not a gold mine in Ghana. The richest place on the surface of the earth is where? The cemetery. Because ladies like you have allowed limitation to hold them back, and so they went to the grave with their potential. Help me speak to another lady and say, not me. Right. So let's look at the word personal development. Personal development simply means to grow. Personal development simply means to what? To grow. Personal development refers to the process of improving yourself, including your skills, knowledge, habits, and mindsets, to reach full potentials and achieve personal growth. In other words, personal development is evolving to a better version of yourself. Personal development is what? In a nutshell, evolving to a better version of yourself. Now, for every one of us sat here today, we all have great destiny. Most times we look at people like Mrs. Anderson and admire her. Oh, I love to be like Mrs. Anderson. Oh, I love the way she speaks. I love the way she walks. I love the way she does her things. But somebody say personal development. Ladies, you want me to come to the back? What did I just say? How many of us love Mrs. Anderson? I don't want to believe that we have people here who do not love Mrs. Anderson. How many of us love Mrs. Anderson? How many of us like the way she talks? You want to speak like that? Somebody say personal development. For every one of us sat here today, we all have great destinies, glorious destinies. Forgive me, I can't stay there. I'll be moving up and down. That's the life of a preacher. That's my background. So, personal development. We all have glorious destinies. But the sad truth is, not every one of us, no matter how glorious your destiny is, will achieve it. You know why? Because what God has prepared you for, you need to grow to match that destiny that God has given to you. And it is so sad that a lot of people live this world without what? Fulfilling destiny. Your destiny can only be beautiful, can only be colorful if you decide to what? Grow. Help me tell your sister, grow. So we're talking about personal development. I'd like to use the example of the insect. It starts off as what? An egg. Is that not so? It becomes what? Larva. And then becomes what? Pupa. And then becomes a full insect. Now, ladies, let me say this to you. If you want to be that excellent person God has created you to be, then you must what? You must what? As a matter of importance, you must what? Grow. So the last word there is a tool. Tool. What is tool? It's an instrument to accomplish some task. An instrument to accomplish any task. So we're talking about using personal development as a tool to what? Overcoming limitations. Now, like I told us before, there are so many things that has caged us as ladies. Of course, the one you allowed. Is that not so? But with personal development, you will veto systems. You will veto structures. You will veto whatever mentality people have against you as a female. I want to say this once again. It is not a fight against the male gender. It is not a fight against the male gender. But from time immemorial, it has been a fight against the female gender. And we have ladies who have stuck out their necks. Of course, you know the battle will not be easy. Even today. True or false? Even today, And personally, I for one, it irritates me when a man tries to put me down. I won't let you do that. Somebody with me? As much as I will not disrespect you, I will not fight with you, I will use my mouth to put you where you belong. Because I am a creation of God. Somebody with me? There's a way I'd like to interpret 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 7. You know, that is the national anthem of most men. A woman is a weaker vessel. Can anybody relate with that? Ladies, are you here? A woman is a weaker vessel. Now let me tell you the meaning of weaker vessel today, so you tell them when you go out. A woman is a weaker vessel because a man is a weak vessel. Right? And now the weakness here speaks of our nature as men. It speaks of our nature as human beings. We are not spirits. We're not angels. Now, why the woman is weaker is this. While the man is created with physical strength, somebody with me, the woman is not created that way. The man was created from raw materials, the sand, the dust. But the woman was created from finished products. And that's why she's beautiful, she's tender, she's succulent, she has extra here and extra here. That you're a weaker vessel doesn't mean you have fish brain, like some of them would say. That you're a weaker vessel does not mean you cannot do a lot of things. You are a weaker vessel because that is your frail as a human being. Now, the man has physical strength, true or false? Well, we have some ladies that can beat some men hands down, but it's not with us ladies naturally, true or false? The man is physically stronger than the woman. But you know, God in his infinite mercies did a balance. Somebody with me? If God had left the man the way he is, with physical strength, and then left the woman as tender and weaker vessel, they say, is that not so? As we are, there would have been a problem. But God, in his infinite mercies, did a balance. A man's powers is hidden or is embedded in his physical strength. But for the woman, her powers are hidden in different parts of her body. And I came to discover that the woman's strength, if used properly, is even more than the man's strength. The man has physical strength, he has muscles, but the woman has the power of influence. The woman's strength is here, her eyes. The woman's strength is here. The woman's strength is here. The woman's strength is here. Somebody with me? Now, if you think I'm lying, go ask Mrs. Delilah. So of Samson and Delilah, who is more powerful? So listen to me, ladies. Don't let nobody talk you down. You have so much in you. Ask Mother Eve. What did she tell her husband that made him eat? Who got the instructions? What about Esther? See, there is so much God has put in you as a woman. All you need to do is discover and put it to use. Right? So that's what the scripture means by the woman being a weaker vessel. It doesn't mean she's weak in her mind. It doesn't mean she's weak in her potentials. It doesn't mean she is weak. A woman can achieve a lot of things. Somebody said something some time ago. You know what he said? Ladies, are you here? What's that our chant again? Empowering women. Are we having some breakfast over there? Empowering women. Empowering women. Listen up. This conference is one opportunity you've been looking for. So if you are here for this conference, minimize distractions. Because after this conference, you will do great things. If you key in into all the principles that will be discussed here today. So that's it. The woman is a strong fighter if she wants to fight. I was saying that the man said something. He said, there are two persons I fear in life. Number one, the Almighty God. Number two, and you say a woman is weak, and you say she's a weaker vessel, you have to think again. All right. So having laid that foundation, let's talk about some of the limitations. Let's talk about some of the limitations we face as ladies. Gender-based discrimination, that's the first one. Gender-based discrimination. Of course, we've heard this word time and time again. She's a woman, she's a woman. What do you mean by saying she's a woman? She has nothing to offer. So we have unequal treatment and opportunities in workplace and society. You go to certain places, you're disadvantaged because you are a woman. But we are here to change the narrative. Right? So that is one of the limitations. I've talked about it before. Number two, ladies, we want to talk down on yourself. Somebody say error. Error, error, error. So you shouldn't talk down on yourself at all. You know, many years ago in school, somebody told me about a particular lady. She was saying, you see that lady over there? In her own definition, the lady is ugly. But you know her beauty, her confidence. When she's coming. Are you part of the conference? The ladies over there, are you part of the conference? As ugly as the lady looks, you cannot help but raise your head and look at her when she's coming. So don't let nobody tell you you're ugly. In my own definition, no lady is what? We are all beautiful. It depends on what you see. So that's the second limitation we face as ladies. Self-doubt and inferior syndrome, negative self-talk and lack of confidence. Lack of confidence. You see some ladies talk and then they're holding their dresses like this. Like children. If you are in that category, there's a change for you here today. Because after this conference, you will know what self-confidence is all about. Number three, limited access to education and resources. Limited access to education and resources. Thank God all of that is changing right now. But as we speak, there are communities who feel that the lady shouldn't go to school. I remember a lady very close to me some time ago. You know what she said to me? She said every time she wanted to go to school, her husband would, give some excuses. And after a time, you know what the husband said to her? If I allow you to go to school, I'll lose you. But the truth is, if you educate a lady, you've educated a nation. True or false? So, a lot of ladies in time past and even now in some communities are deprived of education. How do you maximize your full potentials? It has to take the grace of God if you are not enlightened. So, lack of education or limited access to education and resources. These are barriers to acquiring skills and knowledge. Number four, fear of failure and perfectionism. Fear of failure and what? Perfectionism. I'm trying to lay this foundation of limitation before we talk about how we can use personal development to overcome all of these limitations. Because if we have to know what to do to overcome all of this limitation using self-development, then you must know or understand what the limitations are. Are we together? Are we together? I need you to respond to me. Are we together? Fear of failure and perfectionism. Or what happens? You have a lot of things that God has put on the inside of you that you should bring out to the world to see. But then there's this fear. Mrs. Anderson, remember? There's this fear. What would happen? You know, for some of us who have begun to speak like this. Somebody with me? Some people will say to you, huh? When did this one start? Today, started today. Somebody with me? All right, so because of fear of failure, people will laugh at me. People will say, what is she doing? You know, I want to do it perfectly. I don't want to make mistakes. I remember some time ago, you know, I was having a conversation with Mrs. Anderson, and then she said to me, just do the videos, we'll get there. Post it, just post it out there. Doesn't matter. Make the mistakes. You're not God. Are you God? So why are you looking for perfection? We are growing to become perfect, but in the process, do what? Make the mistakes. How do you correct yourself if you do not make the mistakes? So that's one of the challenges. And because of that, a lot of ladies die with their potentials. They remain in one place for 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. Somebody sent a message, put a message on status some time ago, and she said to herself, the age I'm in now is carrying me. It was her birthday. And she said, the age I am in now is what? Because you will wake up one day and discover that you are 75. So all of the things that God has put on the inside of you, this is the time to give it out to your world. Don't be afraid to fail. Fear of not meeting expectations and striving for an unattainable perfection. So this has been one of the limitations. Number 5, societal expectations, stereotypes and biases that restricts opportunities. There are so many things the society expects from you, and because of that, it has become what? A limitation. Number 6, trauma and mental health challenges. Trauma and what? Mental health challenges. Unaddressed and mental health issues impact the well-being of a woman. A lot of women here, or a lot of women well over, are going through a lot of trauma, true or false. A lot of us are broken women. A lot of us are wounded women. A lot of women have gone through abuses in their relationship. A lot of women have gone through a lot of things. And so, most of these women has refused to be healed. This has become a problem, and it has kept them back. It has limited them. It ought not so to be. Number 7, financial constraints. Let's say it together. Financial constraint. So, financial constraint has become a source or one of the limitations, and it has held a lot of women back. Financial resources and economic opportunities. There are so many things you want to do. You want to educate yourself, because I know you're listening to me right now and you're saying to yourself, Miss Fortune, I'd like to develop myself. I'd like to grow. But finances is a source of challenge. Let me tell you, there is always a way. Help me tell a sister, there is always a way out. So this is number 9. We're going to stop here for the limitations. Let's quickly go over to some of the ways we can overcome these limitations using what? Personal development. Are we still together? Are we still together, ladies? What is our topic again? I only have students here. What is our topic once again? Please applaud yourself. So, personal development, it is not just a tool, but a very vital tool to overcoming what? Limitations. All of the limitations we have talked about here today. There is no one woman sat here today who has not gone through some of these. True or false? Are we correct? So I'm here to give you solutions. What we can do to what? To overcome these limitations. Number one, self-awareness. Help me speak to a sister. Self-awareness. Now you need to be aware of yourself. How do you solve those problems if you do not know yourself? You need to be what? Aware of yourself. Now how do you do that? Number one, identify limiting beliefs. Identify what? Limiting beliefs. If you do not identify these limiting beliefs, how do you find a solution? How do you prefer a solution? Identify limiting beliefs. Recognize negative self-talk and societal expectations that hold you back. Negative self-talk. Every time when you hear the phrase, she's a woman, she's a woman, she's a woman, it does something negative in your mindset. Right? All right. So you have to identify these limiting beliefs and begin to find a solution to them. Number two, under self-awareness, set boundaries. What did I say? Learn to say no and prioritize your need. Learn to say no and what? Prioritize your need. I'm going to give you an example. I had a conversation with Mrs. Anderson some time ago, and I asked her a question. You know, when you see results, when you see success, you want to ask, how did you get to this level? You know, I knew what I faced when I began to speak like this. When did this one start? And in fact, I was somewhere, everybody laughed at me. Right? So I started asking her, I said, how did you do it? She said, for free. I'm giving it to you for free. You're supposed to pay for this. Now she said to me that when she began to develop herself and to train herself to speak like this, because she wasn't born like this. When she began to develop herself, she discovered that her circle began to reduce, was becoming small, and it was deliberate. Because when she comes to this person and speaks like this, the person will be like, when did this one start? And then she'll what? She'll find another person and give this person some chance. Somebody with me? Because every time you're with a negative person, they have a way to pull you down. And so her circle became small and small and small. Today, all of those people are back celebrating the result. Please, let's celebrate our Queen Mother. So, how do you overcome this? Learn to say what? No. Moving away from people who never appreciate you or your journey as you grow. You know what God has prepared you for. And for you to achieve that, you need to what? Grow. And in your journey of growth, there are people who want to talk you down. I remember some years ago, I was handling a project in church. And when I speak to this person, the person says, oh, very good, but it's too big. I speak to this person. So you know what I did? I boycotted everybody because I was sure what I wanted to do. So what do you want to do? What are your plans for your life? How do you want to live your life? Do you want to end your life the way it is? You must grow. Help me tell your neighbor, you must grow. So what did I say is number one? Self-awareness is something you should begin to do from today. Self-awareness. Now let's go to number two. Build confidence. Somebody says build confidence. Now, how do you build confidence? Develop self-compassion. Practice self-care and acknowledge your strength. In building confidence, you what? Develop self-compassion. Reverend Funke Adejimo, who is now bishop, said, love yourself. Like yourself. Is that not so? I was speaking somewhere and I said to them, Don't kill yourself because so and so person has a big bumbo. You are beautifully and fearfully made. If that person has big bumbo, the person doesn't have your flat bum bum. Ladies, are you here? Love yourself the way you are. Be aware of yourself. You know, like Bishop Funke will say, she will look at the mirror and say to herself, God, you try. But that's where it begins from. Somebody with me? If you do not appreciate yourself, I remember many years ago, I know a lady, she has this very serious K-legs and she's fat. So if she's walking with me, she's always like this. How long will she be in that bondage? There's a way you walk with your K-legs. People will want to have K-legs. Oh, you don't think so? There's a way you appreciate yourself. You accentuate what God has given to you by the way you what? You love yourself. So develop self-compassion. Practice self-care. Don't reserve the fine shoes for only Sundays. Ladies, are you here? Don't reserve the fine shoes for only Sunday services. Everywhere you go. Somebody met me in Igbudu market with koi koi shoe. If you want to get comfortable, you can wear, something comfortable but very nice. At every point in time, you shouldn't be caught looking shabby. Somebody with me? This may not relate to everybody, but just permit me to say it. You know, if you look at me very well, I don't do jewelries. Is that not so? But that is not an excuse not to look beautiful. I don't do my hair, like you understand. It's not an excuse not to look beautiful. Somebody was looking down on me some years ago because I didn't wear pancakes and I didn't wear jewelries. And I said in my heart, it's in the market. If I want to buy, I can buy. But I chose to look this way. And it doesn't stop me from looking beautiful. Am I not beautiful? So whatever you have decided to do, give yourself self-care. Pamper yourself. Look good. Take yourself out. Enjoy yourself. My problem with ladies is we're always after my husband, my children, my husband, my children. When will it be your time? When will you give yourself attention? Take yourself out one of the days. Spoil yourself. How long do you have in this life? Everything. My children, my husband, my this, my that. What about you? Help me ask a sister. What about you? So always look your best at all times. Always look your best at all times. I saw a video Mrs. Anderson posted on, I'm going to be talking about Mrs. Anderson a lot today, so it's okay. The Sister Safe Space, True or False, hosted by our delectable Queen Mother. So I'm going to be talking so much about her today, and you'll know why very soon. Okay? I saw a video she posted on TikTok, and the lady was talking about how Donald Trump's wife married that kind of person. Somebody with me? She didn't marry Donald Trump's wife wearing jeans and sneakers all the time. Of course she was a model. Is that not so? You do not have to be a model, but look beautiful. That's the point. At all points in time, you should what? Look beautiful. Because you never know who you will meet. You never know. And people buy you first before they buy whatever you have to offer. True or false? People buy you first before they buy whatever you have to what? Offer. So, always look beautiful. Smile always. Your face shouldn't be hard. You shouldn't be unapproachable. True or false? Shouldn't be unapproachable. Doesn't make you feel inferior. Doesn't make you small. Smile all the time. Number 2, under building confidence. Of course, the greatest or the most beautiful dress a lady wears is what? Her confidence. When you are shabbily dressed, will you walk confidently? Answer me, ladies. Will you walk confidently? You will not walk confidently. So number 2, take calculated risk. Step out of your comfort zone and build confidence. Step out of your comfort zone and do what? Build confidence. Do it failing. And eventually, you'll become a master. You'll become what? A master. Don't be afraid to fail. Put out the dreams. Put out the goals. And you will not believe the lives of people that will be touched. Last weekend, we had a show, my show. Some of you know that show. And a lady actually walked into that show and said, I am going to fight. But before going to fight, I saw the theme of this program, and I came here to get answers before going to fight. The theme of this program is my mother-in-law, or was my mother-in-law. And so her sister had issues with her own mother-in-law. And then she was abused. And she heard about it. She said she was going to fight, but before going to fight, she was coming to listen to what we have to say. So what if I didn't put that program together? Do you know a lot of ladies that will be transformed today because of this program? It is her dream. It is what God has put on the inside of her. Ask your sister, what are you putting out there for the world to see? I remember some time ago, as women in the church, we wanted to put a church together, or build a church. And if you know me, I like to do big things, right? So we're about to build this church. It was something men should do, and then they looked at me like, are you sure? Even ladies. But by God's grace, in 2 months, we put the church together. Thank you very much. Applaud me very well. In 2 months. So there is nothing you will not be able to achieve if you tell yourself you'll do it. Number 3, education and skills. What did I say? Education and skills. We're talking about using personal development as a tool to what? Overcoming these limitations. So one of them is what? Education and skills. Invest in learning. What did I say? Number 1. Invest in learning. You want to grow, you want to develop, do what? Invest in learning. Acquire new skills to enhance career prospects and personal growth. By the mercies of God, before I met Mrs. Anderson, God has helped me. Been a pastor for a while, traveled in and out of the country, preached on some good pulpits, and everything. And then God has helped me to achieve some things, written some books, done some amazing things. But I said to myself, there's more. And many years ago as a student, somebody asked me, because he heard me spoke, and then he was like, where are you from? I said, Warri. He said, Warri people don't speak like this. I said, I'm from Warri. For him, he felt I spoke well. But for me, I knew there could be more. Right? So I began to search the internet to know how to speak correctly. I started learning American English. I was very familiar with a lot of Americans then. So I started learning American English. And then one of the days, I saw Mrs. Anderson's billboard out there. The theme attracted me. It was a master's class program. And then I decided to call the number I saw on the billboard. And the voice that came through the other end blew my mind. Somebody with me? I asked her, where's the office? She said, here in Warri. I'm like, in this same Warri, I am there the next minute. Now, let me tell you something. Doesn't matter the heights you've been to. There is always what? More. So make up your mind you want to what? You want to learn. And my time in OWB being 2021. After the training, of course, before I got to the training, I asked her, is it just a master's class? Isn't there a system, a program that will help me gain mastery with this swing? And she said, yes, there's a program. And by the mercies of God, I began with her as a student, but now the relationship has transited. Clap. The impact has been great. The mentorship has been fabulous. It has been fabulous. So, education and skills, very, very important. Now, you must be humble to learn. You must be what? When I got to OEB, I threw all of the, whatever it is, I threw them away and I became a student. And if you know Mrs. Anderson, she's like a principal. Except if you're not there to learn. Right? So let's round off quickly. So be humble to learn. Number 2, under education and skills, we'll talk about mentorship. Seek guidance from role models and what? Mentors. Seek guidance from role models and mentors. You know, after my time at OEB, I decided to take the relationship further. I kept coming for counseling, kept coming for mentorship, you know, kept coming, and like I said, the relationship transited from that level to where it is now. And let me tell you today, Mrs. Anderson needs to hear this. A lot of you know Inspirational Wednesday with Fortune Jebba. Is that not so? Hello? Kudos. Somebody say kudos to Mrs. Anderson. I know you will say kudos. It is not kudos. It is kudos. After my time at OEB, every time I go to sit before her, we have conversation. I always have something to learn. It was during one of those conversations, she said it's not kudos, it's kudos. I'm sure you've learned something today. It's kudos. She inspired Inspirational Wednesday. Please celebrate Mrs. Anderson for me. We're having this conversation and she said, oh, what can you do? We're talking about a lot of things. And that's how Inspirational Wednesday was born. And from there, the Lord took it to other steps further. I remember one of the days we were having this conversation and then she was saying prayer and all that. I listened and went back home. I was scrolling through, I think it was TikTok one day, and she was praying and the Holy Spirit said to me, this is what you should be doing. And I remember we had that conversation. And that's why we have prayers now. One of the days I was about to sleep and then the Holy Spirit said, wake up, wake up, wake up. I was tired. And then he said, pick this book and read. Whilst I was reading it, I saw what we now do today, the Fortune Jebba show. So how did it begin? How did it begin rather? Mentorship. Somebody say mentorship. Now you need to be very, very intentional with the kind of people you put around you. With the kind of people you associate yourself with. So that's where we are and we're still growing. Somebody with me? So under that, okay, the next one, I think we have just about 2 or 3 more and then we're done. Let me rush all of the ones we have, the remaining ones. We have networking and community. It's time? All right, okay, so let's just round off. Networking and what? Community. Surround yourself with positivity. Build a supportive network of peers and mentors, right? Number 2 on that, join communities. Connect with like-minded women to share experiences and advice like the triple S that we have. I call it the triple S conference. Sisters Safe Space Conference. So this is one community you do not want to joke with. The next one is mindset shift. Mindset shift. Reframe negative thoughts, challenge limiting beliefs, and focus on positive affirmation. I am a beautiful woman. I am a woman of destiny. I will fulfill purpose. I am not a non-entity. The world will hear my story. I will make impact. Positive affirmations. Don't talk down on yourself. Don't say, they said my legs are bent. They said I look ugly. Who said? All right. And so on and so forth. Now, empowerment. Take ownership. Make informed decisions about your life and career. Take ownership of your life. Number 2, advocate for yourself. Speak up for your needs and rights. Do what? Speak up for your needs and rights. You have rights, you have needs. You shouldn't be quiet. What did I say? You shouldn't be quiet. Please, let's applaud Mrs. Ife, Pastor Mrs. Ife. You're welcome. So speak for yourself. You are in a place and there is something that is due you. Don't keep quiet. Help me tell a sister, don't keep quiet. Speak for yourself. I remember as a student many years ago, there was this course. It happened to be my best course in that semester. And, you know, I was the last person to leave the hall that day because I must have A. Somebody with me. Now, the result came out, and I didn't get an A. And I'm like, what? What happened? I told my friend I was going to see the lecturer. You know what she said? Oh, don't bother. Oh, just let it go. I said, me? I'm in his office. I actually got to his office. He sorted my script and checked. He didn't record some of them. And he said I should let it go. He actually apologized to me and added it to the next semester. He was taking me one of the courses and added my score. Help me speak to a sister. Speak for your right. Speak for yourself. Don't be in a place people are looking down on you. Men are looking down on you. She's a woman, like I told you before. I won't let you go. I won't let you go. All right, let's tie this together. Advocate for yourself, speak for your needs and rights, and so on and so forth. In conclusion, remember, personal development is a lifelong journey. What did I say? It's a lifelong journey. Focus on progress, not perfection. Focus on progress. Like I said earlier, make the mistakes. Make the mistakes. And as you continue to embark on those projects, you become what? A master. So it's a lifelong journey. Focus on progress, not perfection. And of course, celebrate small wins. Every achievement you have in your personal development journey, do what? Celebrate yourself. Now finally, as I leave, please. What's the topic once again? Ladies, are you here? What's the topic once again? Overcoming limitation using what? Personal development as a tool. Now you're looking for a place to develop yourself. I want to recommend the OEB Personality and Development what? Consult. Ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate Pastor Mrs. Anderson. Okay, we don't have gentlemen here. We have some few courageous men here. Now, the OEB Personality Development Consult has trained great leaders all over the world. Now, let me tell you something. Personal development is not cheap. What did I say? It's not cheap. So if you're going to develop yourself, it is going to cost you. Whether you're going to do it privately, whether you're going to get some form of training anywhere, it is going to cost you. So I want to recommend OEB Personality and Development Consult. Why I like this academy is that it's a complete package. It is not about speaking English, shwing. There's spiritual nurturing, there's psychological training, it's a whole package. So if you are looking for a place to develop yourself, OEB Personality Development Consult is the place to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Empowering women.